Welcome back to the Rustle of Book Club podcast. Today we are super excited to have with us Kirthiga Reddy, a true trailblazer and an inspiration. Many of you know her as the former managing director of Facebook India, the president of Athena Space, and also the co-founder of Virtualness, a platform shaping the future of digital ownership. Fact, she was the Facebook India's very first employee, building its journey into the country from the scratch. Beyond her impressive corporate roles, she is passionate about the mentoring young leaders and empowering the next generation to bring and aim higher. We can't wait to drive her into the story, insights, and journey. Please join me in welcoming Kritika Reddy to the Russell podcast, Russell of Book podcast. Welcome, ma'am. We have
Excited
one,
to be here.
yeah. We're happy to connect with you. So now, without any wasting time, we're going to start with the podcast interview. So heading with the first question, ma'am. You started your career as an engineer and later became the first employee and the managing director of Facebook India. What were the turning points in your journey that shaped your leadership style?
Abhinav, my father moved around a lot. And so every 3 years, we used to move from one city to another. And every time I had to adapt to a new region. I even had to learn like new languages. As you know, in India, you have a different second language, a third language. So I still remember in my eighth grade, we moved to Dandeli, which is in Karnataka, and I had to start from learning the script all the way to eighth grade grammar English. Childhoods like that give might be hard while you're growing up, but it makes for very adaptable adults, and it certainly gave me a love of learning. And I would say that that is an instrumental piece that continues to define who I am and what I am. Um, when I had to do my engineering, I I could not apply for um, the government engineering colleges because we didn't have enough domicile in one particular state. And when I cried to my parents and said, "Oh, you know, I wish I could go to higher ranked universities," my father said, "You could go to an incredible institution, do nothing with the opportunity, or you can make the most of what you have right now." And Abhinav, I ended up standing second in the entire university. And I think that really would not have been possible if I hadn't gone to this very small college. It was MGM College of Engineering in Nanded. To give you perspective, I didn't even have a campus when I started. We borrowed the campus of the nearby high school. But I got so much attention from my professors that that was the stepping stone to me standing second in the university. That gave me a sense of what I could stand for and what I could achieve. And I don't think that would have happened if not for that experience. So it truly brought to light my father's advice, where he said, make the most of the opportunities in front of you. And Abhinav, that's again a philosophy that has stayed with me. Life is about making the most of the cards played to you. So let's all play the advantages that we have to our maximum, to the maximum impact.
That's excellent, ma'am. Like parents always supported you from your childhood, and that's one of the reason, the fact that you are here also. So it was
Totally.
all support the system.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay,
So,
ma'am.
yeah.
Yes.
So from there became my journey of building. I would say, Abhinav, that I went into engineering probably because of societal guidance, where they say if you want to do well, I remember again the advice that says you have multiple career options. You can either be a doctor, you can be an engineer, or you can be a total failure, right? That's what the societal norms were. And I applied for my engineering admissions. My medical admissions got into engineering. Engineering is what I did. Luckily, I fell in love with the profession, and I find it magical to look at a problem statement and see how one can apply technology to solve it. And from there, started my building journey on the technology side, Abhinav.
Actually, excellent, ma'am. That was very informative, very insight. Thank you. Okay. So our next question is, ma'am, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced as a woman leader in the Indian tech ecosystem, and how did you overcome them?
Another great question. Abhinav, I would say early in my career, whenever people told me about challenges and glass ceilings, I would say, what glass ceiling? There's no glass ceiling. This is all a myth. I don't believe in this. But interestingly, as I got more senior and I saw that there were fewer and fewer women next to me, um, I started realizing how there are so many both systematic challenges. One, for example, with 39% of women drop off mid-career because of typically childbearing needs or needs across parental focus needs. And so if you have that kind of a drop off, then how can we ever see a 50-50 representation at the C level, right? So there's a lot of focus as an industry and certainly as an individual to see how can we keep women in the workforce, how can we nurture them through these important phases. So probably that was the biggest challenge also, is to juggle both career as well as being a mother of two beautiful girls. And it takes a village. And I'm very grateful for the support of my husband, who, without his support, I would not be here, would not be having this conversation. So surrounding yourself with people who believe in you almost more than you believe in yourself has been a critical part of overcoming challenges that a woman face, whether it's aspect like that, or even I would say, even 10 years ago, um, people coming and saying, "Oh, you got this role just because you are a woman," right? Not
Yeah.
and discounting the track record of everything that I have built. So the challenges are real. I remember someone asking me, as you get senior, does biases go away? And while I know that they're wishing that my answer is a yes, I say, I'm so sorry to disappoint. The challenges remain, but it's like going to the gym. It never gets easier. You just get stronger, and the problems get more complex. And it is about allies like yourself, like the community that you're building, that provides the infrastructure that becomes the foundation for stepping stone to go from one level to another.
Amazing, amazing. Very quite informative. Okay. Many young professionals struggles to transition from technical roles and leadership position. What mindset shift or a skill do you think are the most critical for the leap?
Great question. My first manager at Silicon Graphics, which by the way was the OpenAI of its time, where everybody wanted to be at Silicon Graphics, told me this advice. She said, Kirtiga, focus on the success of your customers, your organization, and your team, and your success is a byproduct. Okay. To me, that
Yeah.
was very powerful advice because it gave me a formula for how I can be more successful. I need to make my clients more successful, my organization more successful, and my team more successful, and I would be more successful as a byproduct. I would say that advice was the biggest shift in orienting me from strictly thinking about technology to stepping back and saying, what is it that I need to make the business successful, the client successful, right?
Yeah.
And job descriptions became largely irrelevant because I would do whatever it takes that was needed for these constituents to be successful. So I learned business, I learned communication, I learned stakeholder management. So that's one piece of advice that I would give the audience, Abhinav, and
Okay.
also leveraging communities that get you exposure to different aspects of the business.
Very helpful, ma'am. All right. Okay. When you took over as the MD, Facebook was still in its early growth stage in India. How did you navigate the challenges of building the brand and ecosystem here?
So I have a very strong belief that one hires the right people, builds the right culture, sets the vision, and business results are a byproduct. So building the brand was one about the right people with the right mindset, the right ambition, the right vision, investing in the culture, because what you do internally then reflects externally as well. So that was stepping stone one. Stepping
Okay.
stone two was very much an ecosystem play. We invested deeply in our relationship with our customers. We invested deeply in relationship with our agency partners. We were really co-creating the future together. And
Okay.
that was an important part of how we built the brand, Abhinav.
Amazing, ma'am. This is very informative, and actually, I also learned something from you. Great. Okay. Looking back,
What did
what
you
campaign?
learn? What resonated with you?
It's like your hard work, you're ambitious, and like you, how consistent and focused you just came from India and just step out into a very big organization as the MD position. That actually drove me and influenced me a lot. As a student, I'm also MBA student in college, ma'am, right now. So looking at you thinking and, every day trying to become something better in my life. So I have read about a lot of you on the Google also, and see your journey from Chennai to as a MD in the Facebook, and then Space Athena, and the founder of Virtualness. So obviously it's not easy for anyone to get over there. So it's the hard work that actually takes you over there, and that's what I learned from you. That's the
No,
thing.
incredible, Abhinav. No, no, and thank you for saying that. It is about daily actions and consistency as much as it is
Consistency.
about like big decisions that you make. Small actions over time compound. So kudos to you for that daily persistence that you bring.
So, okay. Okay. Ma'am, what was some of the strategies you used to make Facebook relevant to the India's unique market, language diversity, rural-urban digital divide, and small business ecosystem?
Abhinav, my charter and my responsibility, first I built global operations, what is today called GCC. I built that for Facebook in India over a decade ago.
Mhm.
And then my focus was on the revenue side. Um, and I remember that one of our early wins was with telco companies, where we
Okay.
said, oh, can we help you with making the whole process of data top-ups easier? Okay,
Okay.
that wasn't a use case that existed in many parts of the world. Certainly, it didn't exist in US. Data top-ups was not something that was known about.
Right.
So truly, it was about understanding what the customer's needs were and being willing to customize the solutions for them. Um, Feature phones versus smartphones. Again, how can we help telco companies reach people who had feature phones and help them understand what benefit there is to upgrade to smartphones? I remember Procter and Gamble coming in early to us and saying, "Oh, can you help us drive a product launch for tier two and tier three India?" And at that time, the impression or the perception was what Facebook was only a metro phenomena. So it was partners like that that, as I think a consistent word here is co-creation, and it's a philosophy that applies even more today in the world of AI. Is how can you co-create with the clients and the customers you serve? And so, Abhinav, that was a key part of how it is that we thought about reaching the right people and solving the right problems that were specific to the Indian market.
All right. That's nice. Okay. Okay. As one of the most recognized women leaders in tech, what advice would you give to the young woman who aspires to break the glass ceiling?
One of my favorite Facebook posters is this poster that says, "What would you do if you weren't afraid?" Okay. And I want to say that again. What would you do if you weren't afraid? The other way that someone might talk about the same phrase is, what would you do if success were guaranteed? Pick whatever phrasing resonates with you and then lean into that thought. I ask this question often when I'm with rooms full of young adults. And there was one time where someone raised their hand and said, "Oh, I already do what I would do if I weren't afraid." And it was the first time that I'd heard the answer. Otherwise, I would hear answers like, "Oh, I would apply for a different role. I would speak up more often." Those were the kind of questions. I would apply for an international transfer. Then I asked people, "What would you do if you weren't afraid?" So when this woman told me, "Oh, I'm already doing what I would do if I wasn't afraid," her name is Nidhi Sharma. She was with ISB in Hyderabad at that time. I said, "Oh, tell me more," because it was such an unusual answer. And
Yeah.
then she told me about how she had, and I have permission from her to share the story, where she said, she had a life-threatening disease, and she overcame that. And from that, her "what would you do if you weren't afraid" was, she went and then, changed her role, and now she lives a life of doing what she would if she weren't afraid.
Right.
And so, my challenge for everyone in the audience is, let's not wait for life
Yeah.
threatening diseases to do what you want to do if you weren't afraid. Think about, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not living up to your potential. So, dream big and find a community to support you to help you realize those dreams, and work hard towards getting there.
Doing that only, ma'am. That's nice. Okay.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Uh, Today, social media platforms face challenges of misinformation, data privacy, and online toxicity. If you were leading Facebook India today, how would you address these issues differently?
Abhinav, the question is so relevant in today's world of AI, especially, and where all of these questions that you ask me, like how can you detect fake content from not fake content, right? And actually, a big part of what my company Verix does is we are about trust in the age of AI, and our focus first is around skills and the trust technology needed for the future of work. So we work with customers like PepsiCo, with Netflix, with Meta, around their skilling, recognition, verification needs, from hackathon events to award events to skill certificates. Um, and so we are an AI-enabled blockchain platform. So I
Yeah.
would tell everybody to think about these challenges early, to think about what are all the downsides of technology, and to have a plan to tackle them as part of building the product and building the solution.
It's also depends upon the mindset of the people, how people use it as thing also. We can totally cannot blame the tech or the AI something for that. It's like people should also clear from the mind and how they have to be very resonated how they have to use that app or that particular instrument basically. So what's your point of view on that? Like it's right?
Every technology is about how people use it.
Yes.
And so, yes, indeed, right? Um, it's about, I'm a very strong believer in the use of technology for good. At the same time, I would also behoove every founder, product owner to really think through and put safeguards into place for making sure that the technology has its boundaries and um, thinking through what can happen if people use it
Yeah.
incorrectly and putting the safeguards in place from the very beginning.
Makes sense. Okay. Uh, so we'll go be this with the last question, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, if you were to summarize your legacy at Facebook India in the in a one sentence, would it be?
Okay, so Abhinav, I know you asked me the question about Facebook India. I would
Yeah.
say that since Facebook India, I was the first female investment partner at SoftBank Vision Fund, led $1 billion of investment for them in AI-driven investments. I have
Yes.
had the opportunity and the honor of being the chair of Stanford Business School Management Board. I'm on the board of trustees at Syracuse University. I am now have my own startup, which is about trust technology in the age of AI, have initiatives with the government of India around AI Kiran, which is about enabling 1 million women in AI by 2028. So my best is yet to come. I have several decades of impact left. Will continue to operate both at a ecosystem building level as well as at a startup company building level.
Okay.
So I would say that maybe if I had to say what legacy I left, it is about at the Facebook side, a mantra, and actually it's something that has driven every part of my career. A mantra that I live by is when businesses succeed, livelihood flourish. And so I think that is the mantra that I hope that people see from the Facebook side. I know of like businesses that were built completely on Facebook, new businesses that were built. I remember the first non-profit case study that was done with Facebook. It was Olympic Gold Quest, where they were raising awareness for that incredible cause led by Viren Rasquina. And they wanted to raise awareness, drive fundraising so that we could go find more athletes across the country and nurture them to get the Olympic gold. So when businesses succeed, livelihoods flourish, and that's the legacy that I hope people will remember my journey at Facebook and
Exactly.
through the different parts of my career. And again, my best is yet to
Yeah,
come.
exactly. So, do you really miss, ma'am, working in the Facebook? That something says some part of that you really miss in Facebook, like you something reminds you of when you
Well,
work.
I will bleed blue for each of the places that I worked with. Even today, I'm very, very close to the community and the team that worked at Facebook. I'm very close to the people I worked with at SoftBank, and of course, where I have an incredible team of top 5% talent at my current company, Verix, as well.
Yes, yes.
So it is, you build on each foundation layer, and it is a part of who you are every time. I was at the Meta office, India office, a month ago. I was a jury member at the AI hackathon, where it was a partnership with the Nudge, and we were finding entrepreneurs who are really transforming the areas of skilling, ag tech, education, health tech through the use of AI. So it is a continuum. And again, I was there just a month ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Okay, ma'am. We are ended with the podcast questions.